One single moment. One fraction of a second. That's all it takes to change football history forever. This is not just a story about a mistake. This is a story about loyalty, immense pressure, and ultimate heartbreak. For over a decade, Steven Gerrard was the absolute beating heart of Liverpool Football Club. He wasn't just their captain. He was the local boy who carried the weight of an entire city. When Liverpool were down, he lifted them. When they were dead and buried, he dragged them back from the brink. He famously led them to the miracle of Istanbul in 2005. He won domestic cups, European cups, every individual honor imaginable. But there was one ghost that haunted him. One glaring omission from his legendary resume. The Premier League title. Liverpool, as a club, had not won the league since 1990. A drought of over 20 years for England's historically most successful team. Year after year, Gerrard stayed loyal, turning down massive money from clubs like Chelsea. He wanted to win it for his people. For his city. And then came the 2013 to 2014 season. Under manager Brendan Rodgers, Liverpool began to evolve. Nobody expected them to challenge for the title that year. But they played a brand of football that took the league by storm. Fast, chaotic, breathtaking, heavy metal football. Spearheaded by the lethal Luis Suarez, they were scoring for fun. Gerrard, now an aging veteran, had adapted into a deep-lying playmaker. He was the quarterback. The man dictating the tempo from the back. As winter turned to spring, a strange feeling washed over the city of Liverpool. Belief. They went on an absolute tear. Game after game after game, they found a way to win. An incredible 11-game winning streak in the Premier League. Suddenly, destiny was in their own hands. Then came April 13, 2014. The defining match of the season. Liverpool vs Manchester City at Anfield. City were the financial juggernauts, the favourites to win the league. The atmosphere inside the stadium that day was terrifyingly loud. It was a day of high emotion, marking the 25th anniversary of the Hillsborough disaster. The game was an absolute war. Liverpool went 2 goals up. City fought back to make it 2-2. And then, late in the game, Philippe Coutinho scored a dramatic winner. 3-2. Liverpool had beaten their biggest rivals. When the final whistle blew, Steven Gerrard completely broke down. He wept openly on the pitch. The weight of a quarter-century was lifting. He quickly wiped his tears and gathered his teammates into a tight huddle. Cameras pushed in close as Gerrard delivered the most famous speech of his life. His face was red, his veins popping. He looked possessed. "Listen to me," he roared over the noise of the crowd. "This does not slip. This does not slip. We go again." Those 5 words, "this does not slip." They became the battle cry for the entire city. 4 games remained. The title was theirs to lose. They just had to hold their nerve. They won their next game against Norwich. The dream inched closer. Then came April 27, 2014. Game 36 of 38. Chelsea arrived at Anfield. Managed by the ultimate pragmatist, Jose Mourinho. Chelsea were technically still in the title race, but barely. Mourinho was focused on a Champions League semi-final just days later. So, he fielded a weakened team. A team of reserves and squad players. Everyone thought Liverpool would crush them. Liverpool only needed a draw to remain in complete control of their destiny. Just one single point. But Mourinho came with a specific plan: destroy the game. He parked the bus. From the very first minute, Chelsea players wasted time. They walked slowly to throw-ins. They took ages over free kicks. The Anfield crowd grew agitated. The players grew frustrated. The heavy metal football stalled. Liverpool pounded against the blue wall, but couldn't break through. The clock ticked past the 45th minute. Stoppage time at the end of the first half. It was still 0-0. A draw was fine. Just get to halftime. Then, a simple pass was played across the back line by Mamadou Sakho. The pass looked completely ordinary. It was directed towards Steven Gerrard, stationed near the halfway line. Gerrard had received passes like this thousands of times. No defender was near him. There was absolutely no danger. Until there was. Gerrard stepped forward to control it. The ball slid under his boot. Panic set in. The ball was loose. He pivoted sharply to chase it down. And in that desperate pivot, the earth betrayed him. He slipped. His studs found no purchase. Gravity pulled him down. This does not slip instantly became a cruel, cosmic joke. The loose ball fell directly into the path of Chelsea striker Demba Ba. Gerrard scrambled on all fours. He dragged himself up, sprinting wildly to catch the attacker. But Demba Ba was clear on goal. A one-on-one with the keeper. Time seemed to freeze inside the stadium. Ba slotted the ball calmly through the goalkeeper's legs. It hit the back of the net. Chelsea 1, Liverpool 0. The silence at Anfield was deafening. You could hear a pin drop. An old supporter sat completely frozen, eyes wide in absolute disbelief. A young child buried his face in his father's coat, crying. Hundreds of fans stood like statues, clutching their heads in agony. Scarves slipped from lifeless fingers, hitting the cold concrete steps. The collective shock was total. It was a physical blow to the chest of the city. Gerrard stood with his hands on his hips, staring into the abyss. The whistle blew for halftime. The damage was done. In the second half, Liverpool played with sheer desperation. Gerrard took shot after shot from ridiculous distances. He was trying to single-handedly undo the nightmare. But Chelsea held firm. The blue wall was unbreakable. In the 94th minute, Chelsea counterattacked and scored a second. Willian rolled it into an empty net. 2-0. Game over. The title dream had slipped through their fingers. A week later, Liverpool collapsed completely against Crystal Palace, drawing 3-3. Manchester City ruthlessly won their remaining games. City lifted the Premier League trophy. Liverpool finished second. Gerrard's slip became a global phenomenon. A meme. A song sung by rival fans. It was sung in stadiums across the country for years. Football is a cruel, unforgiving sport. It doesn't care about fairy tales. It doesn't care about loyalty. The irony was excruciating. The man who had saved the club 100 times was the one whose mistake cost them the ultimate prize. Steven Gerrard later admitted he cried in the back of a car all the way home that night. He felt he had let everyone down. But for an older generation of Liverpool supporters, it didn't destroy his legacy. They remembered the decades of sacrifice. It just made him beautifully, tragically human. He could have left for Chelsea years earlier and won 3 Premier League titles easily. But he chose to stay with his people, and they loved him unconditionally for it. And for those fans, that loyalty is worth more than any piece of silver. He left the club the following year, his dream unfulfilled. Liverpool would finally win the league in 2020, long after he had gone. But his story remains one of the greatest Shakespearean tragedies in sports history. A reminder that in football, the margin between immortality and agony is just one.